Joining us is one of my favorite guests. He's Dr. Corey Gold. He is a syndicated talk show host in his own right, coming out of one of our great affiliates out there in California. And he's going to be joining us. I wanted to get him on to talk about solutions, because he's not just a dentist like my dad, but he's a nutritionist and got a bunch, and he's also one of the most successful proprietary developers of some of the most popular vitamin and mineral tinctures out there. And I'm just really excited to have him. We also have a big announcement we're going to make at the start of the next hour. We're not going to do that right now with Dr. Corey Gold, again, who joins us here today. I wanted to get him on at first to discuss just the incredible stuff that we see coming out. As you know, Doc, it came out 2 weeks ago that Merck knowingly was putting out vaccines that they knew actually had the measles, mumps, rubella in them. It's come out that GlaxoSmithKline knew a bunch of their drugs didn't even help people and were killing them. Now we have Monsanto trying to get total government liability to approve anything they want and to give them liability protection. And on the heels of all that, major Harvard study published in Federal Government Journal confirms fluoride lowers IQ. In more than a dozen studies that Harvard looked at, they found significant lower IQs in those who lived in the fluoride areas. The children in high fluoride areas had significantly lower IQs than those who lived in low fluoride areas. Now, again, they just call it fluoride. They put hundreds of chemicals in there. This was known in the Soviet Union when they first put it. By the way, that's mainline history. In the slave camp water. Then the Nazis copied Stalin. The point is, folks, this is premeditated evil, and now they're getting caught on a weekly basis, but still they go forward. It's like they get caught, so then they just say, well, we'll just get liability, and by the way, in California, we're going to shoot your kids up with vaccines without parental consent. That's where Corey Gold joins us from KSCO land there in Santa Cruz. Doc, what do you make of all this? I mean, used to you'd have like a piece of news break like this every 6 months. Now it's every day or two. Is this a good thing, or are they just out in the open now? What do you make of the fact that it's coming out that you know, Big Pharma makes tens of billions and with one drug a year and then pays a $100 million fine? What do you make of this?
Well, you covered a lot of ground there, Alex, but you're right. I mean, it's been known for a long time that if you put things into the food supply, you can control the public. And you're right, Nazi Germany, they were using things like fluoride in the water to control people. Soviet Russia, they were using things like fluoride in the water to control people. And you have to question why we're doing it here. There's discussion out in the open right now about adding lithium to the public drinking supply because too many people in America are depressed. And if we added a little lithium to the drinking water, we would have happier population like, you know, Stedford people. So, yeah, government is controlling people by what they put in the drinking water. Look at in Chicago, they're confiscating homemade lunches that mothers and fathers make and replacing it with government lunches because government is telling you parents don't have rights to control their children's diets. Government's in charge of your diets. And to some degree, you can't run away from the food supply. So if they put GMOs in the food supply and fluoride in the water and lithium in the water, where do you run? Where do you hide to control your own life?
And notice this is all happening right as we gain so much momentum. Their answer is, oh, yeah, you don't like it? We'll hit you with 100 times more.
Well, just think about this. I mean, they're now telling people if you collect rainwater that falls on your roof in your home, it's illegal in some states to collect rainwater that falls on your own roof on your own home because the government owns the water that falls on your house.
Oh, yeah. Last year, they wanted to tax $2,000 per episode for any hay dust in a barn, as if that's toxic, but then GMO can blow around everywhere in people's faces. All of this is supposed, you know, fine and dandy. But I was seeing the Department of the Interior and others, they're even discussing runoff taxes, saying that you need to pay taxes just for rain that falls on your yard.
Right. They're looking to find any way that, water that falls on your yard, you should be taxed for because it waters your grass or waters your crops because the government owns the rain now. I'm waiting for the sunshine tax. It's like if you go outside and walk around, the government's going to charge you by the mile for the sunshine that you collect because somehow now they own the sun.
And by the way, don't give them ideas, Dr. Gold, please. I'm not even joking. Well, of course, Cass Sunstein says that the sun is not good for us, right, and that we're conspiracy theorists if we say it.
Right. The sun, which we all know we need to be. And I mean, if you ever go outside, you feel better on a nice, warm, sunny day. It feels good to walk out. Your body is designed to enjoy and use sunlight. It actually creates vitamins in your body. But, if you read public written documents by government officials, you think the sun was all bad and out there to kill you. And it's the government's role to prevent you from having sunlight.
And by the way, along that line, because we were joking about taxing the sun, Cass Sunstein actually said, if you say the sun is good for you, put a tax on conspiracy theories. He actually said tax saying the sun is good for you. So in a way, I guess that is a tax on the sun.
I don't know if I have any money left after being taxed, so I'm not sure what they're going to come after me for right now. But yeah, I believe the sun, unless you're sitting out there roasting in it, the sun is good for you.
Well said, my friend. I want to come back and look at some of the other big attacks on vitamin and mineral companies I know that are happening right now. And again, we have some big, and I mean big, breaking news when we start the next hour. And then about 20, 30 minutes after that, we're going to have an expert on mind control in studio with us. Even Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America is saying that Aurora looks like it was staged. And now, as things intensify, we are really seeing the system come after our Second Amendment. Dr. Gold, I know you're a libertarian / patriot talk show host in your own right, Doc. What is your view on the open calls to restrict the Second Amendment now?
You have to wonder where you could see it coming right after the shooting that was out in Colorado with the tragic shooting, and we're learning more and more things that make it seem kind of crazy. It's looking more and more suspicious every day to me, what happened out in Colorado. But you knew 5 seconds after it happened, after your grief went away for the people that were shot, I was waiting for all the calls for gun control that followed immediately thereafter. It was basically the lightning struck and then the sonic boom that follows the thunder afterwards was more gun control. As we actually give away guns to Mexico. Look what's happening in Mexico. It's illegal to own a gun in Mexico, and there's more gun deaths in Mexico than almost any place in the world. So we should follow that model, I guess, according to the U.S. government. Well,
it's all about enslavement, and it's that simple. But as Time Magazine had to admit, we are winning the fight for the Second Amendment. The system is panicking. The public doesn't trust him anymore. So what does Corey Gold expect them to do next? Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. I wish we could bury tyranny. Dr. Corey Gold is our guest. We're talking about the attacks on farming, ranching, your own rainwater, gardens. They're going in and Oklahoma and other areas and cutting down people's backyard gardens now, not just front yard gardens. They're arresting people all over the country with lemonade stands, not just fining them. They gave a guy 30 days in jail for collecting rainwater for his backyard garden in Oregon. And they're saying, you bet we're going to arrest you. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, they do not want you taking care of yourself. They want you under this medical mafia. And that's where longevity comes in at InfoWarsTeam.com. I mean, you've seen Aaron Dykes lose 92 pounds, and it's not even advertised with Pollen Burst and Beyond Tangy Tangerine to make you lose weight. You just aren't as hungry. You know, I lost 40 pounds and then haven't even been working out like I used to and have stayed there. If I worked out like Aaron does, I'd lose another 20, 30 like I need to. The point is I'm still a bit chubby, but I was getting downright corpulent or porpoise-like. The point is that that's a side issue, but everybody should visit InfoWarsTeam.com, where we have all of the great longevity products discounted. And there's a little special announcement up there on the site as well that we'll be making on the radio coming up at the start of the next hour. But getting back to Dr. Corey Gold, I mean, this really is about a revolution of taking our lives in our own hands and really coming out of this system. And that's where health comes in. They want us debilitated so they can sell us drugs that they know are making us sick.
Well, today the word in medicine is living with disease. It's maintaining with a disease state. It's not about preventing disease state. It's not about curing disease state. It's about living with disease. If you listen to a lot of these things, we have these drugs which will help you function normally or close to normally with these diseases that you have. And what we're all about and what your show's a lot about is how do you live without, how do you not get them? And if you have them, how do you have your body work to fix them the best you can? And that's where great things like water comes in, and that's where food supplies come in, and that's where vitamins and minerals come in, and that's where doing things that just make common sense, having pure water, eating clean, non-GMO food, having vitamins, minerals, nutrients, omega oils, it just makes sense. But yet you hear TV telling you that people talk about drinking clean water, and people that want non-GMO food and people talk about supplementing with vitamins and minerals are crazy people. And it's like they're turning the world upside down on their head. It's like what makes common sense is meant to be crazy. And when the world buys into common sense being crazy, we're in a weird place.
That's a good way to put it. I'm always trying to describe how these corporate brainwashers sell us on the idea that we're the weirdos. Right. They really are selling us on an upside-down world. They're like, yeah, the fluoride brain damages you, put it in your water for your kids. We're like, but you admit it brain damages. Shut up, conspiracy theorist. Drink it. But, you know, Dr. Dean Adele, he says you don't need those vitamins. Vitamins are bad. He actually says they're bad. Right. No, I'm not kidding. I mean, you do not need supplements. Studies show supplements are bad for you. I'm sure you've heard that.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done has been right.
Dr. Corey Gold, radio talk show host, dentist, nutritionist, a major health food developer, just an amazing all-around guy's our guest. I want to ask you about attacks on free speech, though, in this short little segment. UK police arrest man over Twitter insult, and he told one of the Olympic divers, you let your dad down. Hope you know that. I mean, that's just the nature of the internet. The guy's on a public forum. He's a public figure. He said he wanted to win for his dad. The guy said, you let your dad down. It's a nasty thing to say. The police have arrested him because it's illegal to hurt someone's feelings in England. This is the new thing where they're arresting people. And we have the article up at Infowars.com. People know I don't get off into the whole, bashing different religions and groups. I just stay out of it. But you know what? You've got to have the right, if you're the Chick-fil-A owner, to say, I think a marriage between a man and a woman, you shouldn't have Rahm Emanuel say, shut it down. We're not going to let you operate in Chicago. I mean, that is very dangerous. Okay. Go ahead.
That was like one of the biggest topics on my show, and people were really, really in favor of what Rahm Emanuel was saying. I'm saying, listen to you. We left England because the government was tyrannical and was dictating to us. And here we are having a mayor say, you don't have a right to own a business because of your political point of view and your religious point of view. It's like insulting to the Constitution.
Have they heard of Nazi Germany? Because that's how the discrimination started against certain groups, was not letting them have businesses at first.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, that same city would be happy to confiscate your weapons, would be happy to take your packed lunches away from your children and give them government lunches, and would be happy to tell you if you don't believe with the same way as the mayor believes, then you're going to have to go somewhere else to have a job because you won't get a license in that state. I mean, the thought is that this person's a conservative who but does not believe in same-sex marriage. That's just his worldview. Okay for him, but that now bars him from owning a restaurant in the city because of his political and religious point of view.
And if you disagree with that view, that's your right. Don't go there. But listen, it gets worse. They're now saying in England that that if you criticize Islam, you'll be arrested, period. And now in congressional testimony yesterday, the video's up at Infowars.com, the Deputy Attorney General will not say that they won't arrest Americans that criticize Islam.
It's a very spooky space where you're now worried that what you say could get you arrested or get you on some kind of list that gets you in trouble simply because you say, I don't believe in a law, or I don't believe in the way the government's going, or I'm not happy with the tax law, or I think we should have more freedom of speech, or I'm not pro-gay, or I am pro-gay. That could get you in trouble with the government and, quite frankly, get a website shut down simply because your personal point of view is anti what a regulator likes. It's very scary. When the First Amendment and the Second Amendment go away, we're no longer the United States of America.
And again, the model of political correctness that they have in Europe and England now, you say to somebody, you let your dad down. I hope you know that, because the guy had made it all about winning the gold medal for his dad. Well, I mean, you know, you let your dad down. That's a creepy thing to say. Right. You know, I'd say something like, hey, your dad's still proud of you looking down from heaven. You're in the arena. Great job. But if somebody wants to be a troll and a creep, you get arrested for that. That is serious authoritarianism. And now they're saying, because Paul Watson and his brother, who right from me live there, and they say, if you criticize even an Islamic radical group, you'll be arrested now in England. I mean, this is just so bizarre. And it is a very, 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 very scary thing. Now, the AP says UK police arrest man over Twitter insult. We just showed one saying they're investigating. They've now arrested. We'll be back with Dr. Corey Gold with a big announcement and a lot of key health news straight ahead. We'll delve more into fluoride as well, exactly from his research, what it does to your brain and the rest of your organs. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Dr. Corey Gold is our guest. He is a dentist, a nutritionist, long bio, and one of the most successful developers of nutritional products out there. You know him for things like Pollen Burst and products that I use and promote and that my whole office loves and my whole family loves. And now almost everybody I know in Austin is using. You can find it all at InfoWarsTeam.com. And we've been covering a host of issues. I want to get more into these attacks on the First Amendment, the Chick-fil-A situation, now people being arrested in England for Twitters that are just mildly insulting, like, hey, you let your dad down, not getting a gold medal, you're arrested. No more free speech. We're going to get into all that. Major Harvard study published in Federal Government Journal confirms fluoride lowers IQs. Again, the magnitude of the fact we're being poisoned by design. Well, the body is able to heal itself. The globalists want to make you sick. I lost 40 pounds on this, and it's not even a weight loss product. And yes, I'm infomercialing here. I only do this like once a month or something. But I do it with things I really, really believe in. Aaron lost 92 pounds. And the reason is the food has had the minerals taken out of it because of the fertilizers they use, the ground being played out, not being left fallow. It's basic farming rules, you know, that go back to Leviticus and before. We're not following any of that common sense. And so plants take 2 or 3 minerals to grow. We take a whole bunch, upwards of 90. And even mainline vitamins and stuff don't have all the 90 vitamins and minerals and trace elements. They'll have like 45 or 50 or 60. When you get the Pollen Burst, now Pollen Burst Plus, that's the announcement. When you get Beyond Tangy Tangerine, when you get the products at InfoWarsTeam.com, it's not advertised as weight loss, but you won't be as hungry. You'll have more energy. Because, and again, my only problem is I am not accustomed to taking it 3 or 4 times a day. Aaron's followed it totally and lost 92 pounds. We're about to do a whole promotion, rolling that out and going over it. But if you're a radio listener, go look at an Aaron Dykes video 2 years ago. Look at him now. In a year and a half, 92 pounds. Now, that said, drum roll, please. If you're watching on PrisonPlanet.tv, I was just about to go live here in the segment. I was already making myself one of these, as I do in the afternoon now, instead of just drinking coffee all day. And I thought, wait, I'll just do it on air. Pollen Burst Plus, and we can show people watching on PrisonPlanet.tv, is featured on the Alex Jones Show. Because this all came about because I'm like, yeah, I like your, kind of orange flavor, whatever it is. But I said, I would like, something more berry tasting. They're like, well, it's really funny you say that because we want to add more antioxidant to all the proprietary B vitamins and A vitamins and all the other stuff that just supercharges you. It is the best energy drink out there. And they sent me samples a few months ago saying, do you want to endorse this? And the answer is absolutely. My children, everybody, we're running some audio through one of our computers. I tell you, these computers are getting crazier and crazier. That was a drum roll. Oh, they were getting the drum roll ready. I thought it was like an air raid siren. Drum roll, please. Here it is, the Pollen Burst Plus. And yes, when you purchase it at InfoWarsTeam.com, your purchase helps us hire the 6 reporters we're getting, the 6 graphics and news layout people we're getting. We are not just going to sit here and be the #1 alternative media outfit in the world, with me pulling the whole train. We're going to go to the next level, and it takes funds to do that well. So, again, we are fighting here. So when you purchase stuff at InfoWarsTeam.com, you get the best products, you get discounts, and you also support the transmission. We're not like the Rockefellers that take your money in government bailouts and then, fund MSNBC. We're here saying, hey, these are products we like. Because I scoured out there looking for products that I really thought were the best and finally found them. Oh, man. Let me tell you something. I love Pollen Burst Plus. Dr. Gold, you developed this. Corey, tell us, I know we still got the regular Pollen Burst at InfoWars Team, but tell us about the Pollen Burst Plus.
Well, it just happened to be great timing. You'd mentioned to me how much you like Pollen Burst, and we were working on a new formulation of Pollen Burst that had even more in it than the original Pollen Burst. And we call it Pollen Burst Plus. It's called the new Berry Blast. And it's actually a formulation that you tried actually before I even tried the flavor of it. So I know where I sit in the pecking order of things because you called me up telling me how much you liked it before I got my samples. And it's a berry flavored beverage. So it's got everything the original Pollen Burst had in it, except we've added New Zealand black currant to it. So we've just supercharged the antioxidant property to it. And a lot of people are becoming aware of black currant. It's a superfood now. It's one of the super berries that's out there, loaded in antioxidants. It's got a lot of natural vitamin C in it. It's even got EFAs in it. It's got omega-6s in it, which is good for making prostaglandins and for decreasing inflammation. The vitamin C is obviously good for your heart health and your immunity as well. It produces natural energy. So when people take a product like Pollen Burst or Pollen Burst Plus, which is now your formulation, your endorsed formulation, right, we're out there with it. This is a product that's endorsed by Alex, and it benefits the InfoWars, and I'm proud to be doing that. I'm proud to be working with that. And we wanted to make something that was so superb that I felt proud about it being connected with you and connected with your audience. And that's what we did with Pollen Burst Plus. So it has everything the original version does have in it. It's got superoxide dismutase, which is a wonderful, most powerful antioxidant you can possibly get. SOD is made by your body every single day. It's the antioxidant your body makes, and your body's used to it, so we're just boosting that amount, which also raises your glutathione levels. It's got ECGCs from green tea extract, another very powerful antioxidant. It's got pollen grains, which have all those micronutrients that you were just talking.
We're losing we're losing Dr. Gold's Skype. Oh. Let's try to pause a moment or reconnect because that's becoming a bit unintelligible. Yeah, the point is this is the best energy drink out there. I won't take energy drinks because they give me headaches. I love coffee, but if I drink 3 or 4 cups, if I'm say staying up here till midnight working, I get burnt out, I get mean. Pollen Burst, and I tried some of their other energy drinks too that Youngevity puts out, and they're good, but not as good as Pollen Burst. And so that's around here. That's what I drink. We've got the other ones. Rebound's good as well. But the point is, I really like Pollen Burst. Well, now I don't drink the other flavor. It still tastes great. I like the berry flavor, and you heard it. It's got yours truly on the cover. It is an InfoWars endorsed product, and I hope that all Info Warriors will go to InfoWarsTeam.com and sign up for $10 to get discounts on the products or just buy the products right there at InfoWarsTeam.com. And again, other revolutionaries rob banks to fund themselves. We're not revolutionaries. We're restorationists. We want the republic back. We fund ourselves promoting things that we believe in, things that we use, things that we're proud to promote to you. So, Pollen Burst Plus, it's got so many great things in it, from the pollen to the black currant to the vitamin B1, vitamin B3, B6, B12, vitamin D3. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. You can see it there if you're watching at prisonplanet.tv. And it's an amazing energy drink, and everybody I know gets hooked on it. Dr. Gold, what's the difference? Because I love the way coffee tastes, okay? Right. And I buy, local Rudamaya coffee, love it, it's from Mexico. But take Starbucks coffee. I drink one of those. I'm high as a kite for 5 hours, but then I get really grumpy and have a headache. And everybody I know is the same way. Right. So coffee does something to you. Rudamaya, I can drink 4 or 5 cups before I get a headache. Starbucks, 1. But coffee's great, though. I mean, I like coffee. It's got some health benefits I've read about. I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong. But I can drink, if I need to, 2 or 3 Pollen Burst over the day, stay up till midnight. If I'm doing Coast to Coast AM, I've been up since 6 a.m. the day before. Bam, Pollen Burst an hour before. I feel great, can go to bed at the end. I used to could not drink any amount of coffee to try to stay up and alert, and quite frankly would turn to beer. For whatever reason, beer would have a stimulus effect for me when caffeine wouldn't anymore. What's different about Pollen Burst now that I don't need to drink beer if I'm on an overnight radio show to stay up? I can take a Pollen Burst.
Well, you see what happens when I get excited about Pollen Burst. I broke Skype. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's how powerful this new product is. And I'm by the way, I'm very proud to be working with the InfoWars with this and supporting the InfoWars with this product. And we wanted to make it the best one. You asked about, coffee versus other things that help you with energy. This has some green tea in it. It's just a smaller amount. We get our energy from a combination of different things. Things with antioxidants in them, like superfoods and ECGCs and all those other things we put into this product, they do contribute to increasing energy, but it's through a different mechanism. So there is some green tea in it. It does have a little bit of endogenous caffeine in it, but it's not like drinking Starbucks, like you said, coffee. And I'm a fan of coffee too, but you're right. It does have a very different effect on the body when you drink a lot of caffeine and then your body goes away from the caffeine. It's a kind of a crashing situation, and this doesn't do that. This is very smooth, very easy.
Yeah, but a lot of other energy drinks have that crash. This doesn't have the crash, and that's not just hype, folks. Try it out. The regular Pollen Burst, the Pollen Burst Plus at InfoWarsTeam.com, and specifically on the alcohol issue, I know it's classed as a depressant, but why for myself does it have a stimulant effect?
It all depends how much alcohol you have in your body, because eventually as your body's trying to digest and eliminate the alcohol, your body sees alcohol as a toxin. So when it's going through that elimination phase, eventually your body does see it as a depressant. Small amounts can excite the body.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about, like a beer. Yeah, like one beer will wake me up, but then I don't even really like it. And then I can't go to sleep. People always talk about, I'm just describing what I've learned keeps me up, but I don't need coffee and I don't need a beer anymore to stay up. Now I just have a Pollen Burst. I'm saying it is amazing, folks. InfoWarsTeam.com. And if we put it up on screen, there's also a number there on the site where people can take your order there. It's 865-441-2996. Again, that's 865-441-2996. There's also a toll-free number somewhere on there, so I'll make sure that gets added back up there on the site. But we'll be back with Dr. Corey Gold to get into fluoride straight ahead. Alex Jones here with a very important announcement for truth seekers. We've carried a lot of amazing films and books over the years on the online video bookstore at Infowars.com. And out of all the titles we've carried, one stands out because it is just so chillingly convincing. And that's Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert, available at Infowars.com. This film exposes the fraud that Obama is like nothing I've seen. If you want to know who Obama's real daddy is, this is the film for you. Don't forget, your purchase supports our broadcast and our growing media network. You'll also find at Infowarshop.com, None Dare Call a Conspiracy by Gary Allen, the book that woke me up. We're also carrying Behind the Green Mask, UN Agenda 21 by Rosa Koire. This book is coffin nails to the globalist takeover. The Greater Good, the most professional and up-to-date film I've ever seen exposing the scourge that is vaccines. These titles and a lot more are all available at InfoWarsShop.com. By the way, you can become a distributor, create your own website under InfoWarsTeam.com, and we were giving out a distributor's number, which is great as well. You want to call the main number here to order any of the fine products discounted, like Pollen Burst Plus, that just officially came out this week and is now in stock, 877-551-1301. You can also inquire about signing up to be a distributor. And we're looking for team members. We're looking for managers. I mean, it's a growing operation. This great longevity system and people using the products and finding out it's not hype is really helping fund the info war. I know a lot of folks would rather we would just be the government and come take the money from you at gunpoint, but we'd rather just sell you a good product that everybody win-wins from. 877-551-1301 is the main number if you want to talk directly to our folks, 877-551-1301 or InfoWarsTeam.com. Now, coming up, it's finally hitting mainstream news. They're praising al-Qaeda as wonderful people. This is the London Guardian today. Al-Qaeda turns tide for rebels in battle for eastern Syria, and it just talks about their discipline and what incredible men they are. I got to get my rights up because al-Qaeda is going to attack me. And it just goes on and on. This is just amazing. Again, new bill introduced to ban online ammo sales, ban all semi-autos, ban clips of 10 or more, getting almost no attention. It finally hit Yahoo News today. I mean, incredible things are happening right now. The world is just racing towards tyranny. Dr. Corey Gold, what do you make of Obama using al-Qaeda to take over Libya and now Syria? I'm not saying Gaddafi or Assad are good guys, but compared to al-Qaeda, I mean, I'm not a supporter of al-Qaeda, and I know that means I'm not patriotic nowadays. To be patriotic is you want drones, checkpoints, no freedom, turn your guns in. I guess they're telling us, the founders, gun owners, libertarians, we are the terrorists.
Well, al-Qaeda was great when they were fighting the Russians in Afghanistan. And then al-Qaeda was bad when they were fighting us in Afghanistan. Now al-Qaeda is good again because they're helping get rid of Assad in Syria. So I guess it just depends. It's kind of like baseball players. It all depends which uniform they're wearing that day. It's the same guy, just what uniform they're wearing that day. It is crazy when you think about it that we're fighting al-Qaeda, except they're helping us fight in Syria because we don't like that guy more. You're right. Drones are flying, but people think it's good because it's protecting them. The internet's being censored, but that's good because people aren't getting their feelings hurt. The government's putting lithium or wants to put lithium in the water because you shouldn't have any opinions or be sad ever because emotions are no good for you. You start wondering, where are we heading with this? Mayor Bloomberg is telling people, yeah, abortions are great in New York, but you can't have you can't have formula for your children because the government would prefer you do this instead. We're really at a wacky place. But it is kind of crazy when you think about when is al-Qaeda our friend and when is it our enemy, and is it the same day sometimes?
And then meanwhile, they're trying to restrict vitamins and minerals, but Dr. Wallach's been leading the charge to stop that. But then they want to legalize antipsychotics and things like OxyContin for 4-year-olds.
Oh, you just think about it. There are commercials on the air right now that says if your first antidepressant isn't working well enough, we've got a second antidepressant you can put on top of that. But be very careful of vitamins and minerals. Those could be dangerous for you. If anybody who listens to this commercial, pick up a tube of toothpaste. Read the warning on the back about having too much toothpaste and now drink the fluoride in the water. It tells you could die from eating a whole tube of toothpaste, but chug away in the water, have a lot of water. You've been running around town, you're thirsty, drink a lot of water, put that fluoride in. It just begs intelligence.
Well, that was the final point I wanted to cover with you here. Harvard looked at more than a dozen major modern studies as far back as 1977 and said it accelerated tumor growth, bone cancer, and massively lowered children's IQs. But if I go down to the city council in Austin and say, stop putting it in my water, they laugh at me.
Right. They laugh at you. It's a brainwashing technique. You think about this. If you say, I want pure water, they think you're crazy. You're asking for pure water. If you try to collect your own rainwater in your house, you're violating some kind of law. You say you want clean food with no GMOs, you are crazy. You grow your own food, you are crazy, maybe a lawbreaker. You want to have a cow and drink the unpasteurized milk, you could be doing something wrong. It's an upside down world. All these things are intuitively good.
I'll tell you what's intuitively delicious is my Pollen Burst Plus, available at InfoWarsTeam.com. We've got banners going up at InfoWars.com today if you missed that address. Dr. Corey Gold, thank you for letting me endorse your product. I've never endorsed a product before because I never found one good enough. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Alex.
Visit InfoWars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.